Keeping in Touch with Your Own Reality. Written by Theo E. David. Welcome back to our audio bookshelf. We hope you enjoy the book, and please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons to get our latest content. Enjoy. Introduction. I've had thousands of problems in my life, most of which never actually happened. Mark Twain. This quote reflects the issues we create when we have a distorted perception of reality, leading to unnecessary worry and stress. Reality, as you perceive it, is not an exact representation of reality itself. Your perspective acts as a filter, shaping how you interpret the world. Understanding the intricate relationship between perception and perspective can empower you to lead a more examined and meaningful life. These mental processes lay the groundwork for the human experience. This audiobook delves into how our perceptions are molded from early childhood by inherent biases and external influences beyond our control. It also explores how perspective, the vantage point from which we observe, holds the potential for growth when approached with mindfulness and open-mindedness. Differentiating between perception and perspective is crucial for recognizing unconscious patterns and broadening our mental horizons. An age-old saying suggests that every story has three sides: yours, mine, and the truth. This timeless wisdom underscores a fundamental truth about human existence. Our realities are subjective rather than objective. Each of us possesses unique perceptions and perspectives that shape our understanding of the world. Embarking on this journey of self-discovery is both challenging and rewarding. Within these pages, you'll find a roadmap to reclaiming control over your internal and external worlds. The choice to cultivate clarity has never been more pressing or liberating. Chapter 1. The Essence of Perception and Perspective. At the heart of human consciousness lies the intricate interplay between perception and perspective. These two concepts are fundamental to how we make sense of the world and shape our understanding of reality. Perception, deeply rooted in our biological makeup, is the mechanism through which we engage with our surroundings using our senses. It encompasses the acquisition, interpretation, and organization of sensory information, allowing us to construct a coherent representation of the world. Whether it's the sight of a sunset, the sound of laughter, or the touch of a loved one, perception enables us to experience and comprehend the richness of our environment. However, inherent within this process are biases, subtle distortions, and predispositions that influence how we interpret sensory stimuli. These biases, often unconscious, remind us of our fallibility in accurately perceiving the world. They shape our perceptions in ways that may not always align with objective reality, highlighting the complex nature of human cognition. Complementing perception is perspective, a dynamic lens through which we interpret and give meaning to our sensory experiences. Perspective integrates cognitive, emotional, cultural, and experiential factors, adding layers of subjectivity to our understanding of reality. It's the filter through which we contextualize our perceptions, assigning significance and relevance based on our individual backgrounds and beliefs. While perception provides the raw sensory material, perspective infuses it with personal interpretation, shaping our unique outlooks on the world. Perception and perspective work together to create our cognitive framework, which acts as a set of rules that directs how we move through and engage with our surroundings. They impact our choices, mindsets, and actions, molding our connections and perspectives. Comprehending the interaction between perception and perspective not only reveals the intricacies of human awareness, but also emphasizes the significance of identifying and rectifying our innate prejudices. By being aware of these prejudices, we may work to develop a more complex and compassionate view of reality, improving our clarity and insight while interacting with the outside world. Chapter 2. Shaping Reality Through Interpretation. In the tapestry of human experience, the power to shape reality lies not in the events themselves, but in how we choose to interpret and react to them. Each interaction and every circumstance presents itself as a blank canvas upon which we paint our own meanings, colors, and emotions. Consider the scenario of being hit. For some, it may evoke a visceral response of anger, prompting them to retaliate with equal force. For others, it may stir feelings of vulnerability, leading them to retreat and seek solace. The key distinction lies not in the action itself, but in the individual's interpretation of it. This notion underscores the profound influence of perception on our lived experiences. We are not passive recipients of reality, but active participants in its construction. Our interpretations serve as the lens through which we filter the world, shaping our responses and narratives. The freedom to interpret reality is a double-edged sword, offering both liberation and responsibility. It grants us the autonomy to imbue our experiences with meaning, to find silver linings in the darkest clouds, and to extract lessons from adversity. Yet, it also demands introspection and self-awareness, as our interpretations can either empower us or hold us captive. In this realization lies the power to alter reality. By reframing our perspectives, we can transform challenges into opportunities, setbacks into stepping stones, and obstacles into catalysts for growth. We have the agency to rewrite the script of our lives, reclaim our narratives, and chart our own course. Ultimately, the ability to shape reality through interpretation is a profound testament to the resilience and adaptability of the human spirit. It reminds us that while we may not always have control over external circumstances, we always retain sovereignty over our internal world. In the crucible of perception, we discover the alchemy of transformation, turning life experiences into golden moments of triumph and transcendence. Chapter 3. The Neutrality of Reality. Each of us views the world through our own lenses, interpreting reality subjectively. This is why, in the face of the same event, there are as many interpretations as there are people observing it. Everything we think about the world and everything we say about reality says much more about us than about the world and reality themselves. For instance, there are readers finding this book very bad, so bad that they've likely stopped reading before reaching this chapter. Conversely, others may find it very good, so good that they might even gift it to friends and family. And in between, there are many who find it somewhat indifferent, considering it a mediocre and run-of-the-mill essay. All these perceptions have less to do with the book itself and more with the meaning each reader assigns to it in their own mind. Let's remember that this essay is nothing more than a string of Indo-European alphabet logograms. In other words, a collection of symbols and signs that in themselves hold no meaning. To verify this, we only need to share this book with someone whose mind hasn't been coded in the Spanish language, such as a Chinese, Arabic, or Hindi speaker trying to read these lines. None of them would understand a thing. They would only see a bunch of strange scribbles. So if everything we see is merely a projection of what resides within us, what is reality? Does it really exist? The truth is that reality is neutral, completely neutral, meaning that all the facts, situations, events, and circumstances that occur in our lives hold no inherent value or meaning. They simply are what they are: facts, situations, events, and circumstances. As such, they are neither good nor bad, but neutral. Reality, what is and what happens in every moment, is distinct from the subjective and distorted interpretation we make of it, based on our belief system. By receiving what happens through the mind, we enter a cognitive duality wherein we label what we see based on whether we agree or disagree, whether we like or dislike, whether it benefits or harms us. Thus, the illusory self with which we identify determines from a completely egocentric perspective the value of the things that happen to us. In this way, we as observers are constantly conditioning what is observed with our dual perception. In fact, we are what is observed. Ultimately, reality acts as our mirror, continually reflects what we carry within. Chapter 4. Perception Puzzle. The way we see the world is like a giant puzzle, and each of us holds a unique piece. This puzzle is made up of our perceptions, which are heavily influenced by our personal experiences, beliefs, and even our moods. It's not just about looking at things, it's about how we interpret them. Think about when you see a dog for the first time. One person might think it's cute and friendly because they've had positive experiences with dogs in the past. But another person might feel scared because they were bitten by a dog as a child. Same dog, different perceptions. Our minds are also wired with something called cognitive biases. These are like little shortcuts our brains take when processing information. They can be helpful, but they can also lead us astray. For example, let's say you're watching a basketball game and the referee makes a call against your favorite team. You might think the ref is biased against your team, even if that's not really the case. That's your brain's bias at work. Now let's talk about experience. Imagine you're learning to ride a bike. At first, every bump and wobble feels like a huge deal. But as you practice and gain experience, you start to get the hang of it. Eventually, you can ride smoothly without even thinking about it. That's because experience gives us a better understanding of things. Someone who's faced a lot of challenges in life might have a more balanced view of obstacles. They know they can overcome them because they've done it before. On the flip side, when we encounter something new, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, like when you start a new job or move to a new city. Everything seems bigger and scarier than it really is. But as time goes on, you start to adapt, and things don't seem so daunting anymore. So whether it's the way we see a dog or how we handle a problem, our perceptions are shaped by a whole bunch of stuff swirling around in our heads. Understanding that can help us see the world in a clearer, more open-minded way. Chapter 5. Seeing through subjectivity. Subjectivity plays a fascinating role in how we interpret the world around us. It's like wearing a pair of glasses that color everything we see, hear, and experience. These glasses aren't the same for everyone. They're uniquely crafted by our individual backgrounds, experiences, emotions, and beliefs. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you and your friend are walking in the park and see a dog. To you, the dog might evoke feelings of joy and nostalgia because you grew up with dogs and have positive associations with them. But to your friend, who had a scary encounter with a dog as a child, the sight might trigger fear and anxiety. Similarly, consider how we perceive success. For one person, success might mean climbing the corporate ladder and earning a high salary, while for another it could mean pursuing a passion project or spending quality time with family. Our definitions of success are shaped by our values, priorities, and life experiences. Even something as seemingly objective as color can be influenced by subjectivity. Different cultures have varying perceptions of color, with some languages having more words to describe different shades. For example, in English, we might use blue to describe the sky, but in another language, there could be separate words for light blue and dark blue, reflecting a more nuanced perception. Subjectivity also comes into play when we form opinions about people. Our biases, stereotypes, and past experiences can color how we view others, leading to snap judgments or unfair assumptions. For instance, if someone reminds us of a person who wronged us in the past, we might unfairly project those negative feelings onto them. Despite its complexity, subjectivity isn't inherently bad. It adds richness and diversity to our experiences, allowing us to see the world through different lenses. However, it's essential to recognize our subjective biases and strive for empathy, understanding, and open-mindedness. By acknowledging our subjectivity, we can cultivate a more compassionate and inclusive worldview where diverse perspectives are valued and respected. Conclusion. We are continuously faced with the significant consequences of our perceptions of the world around us as we navigate the intricacies of human awareness throughout life. However, beneath all of the subjective interpretations and glasses that we use to observe the world, there is a fundamental truth that should be understood. Perception is a dynamic force that actively influences our understanding of and interactions with the outside world, not just a passive reflection of it. We have explored the depths of human consciousness in this investigation of perception and reality, revealing the complex webs that connect our subjective experiences to the objective world. We have seen a glimpse of the complex nature of reality as seen through the human mind's lens, from the biological processes of perception to the cultural and social factors that shape our interpretations. As we consider our past experiences, let's not forget that perception is a dynamic process that is always changing rather than a static thing. It is a mirror that reflects not just the outside world but also the complex web of our deepest feelings, ideas, and convictions. By accepting that perception is dynamic, we create connections that go beyond the confines of subjective experience and gain a better awareness of both the self and the outside world. Therefore, as we say goodbye to this exploration into perception and reality, let us keep the knowledge and understanding we have obtained in mind. After all, we know that there is always more to learn, and that the mysteries of perception are as big and unsolvable as the cosmos itself. Thanks for listening, and please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and also click the small bell icon to receive a notification every time a new free audiobook has arrived. Thanks again.